In today's video, I'll be showing you how to build this automatic crop farm with the Create mod. So without further ado, let's get to building. These are all the blocks we'll be using in today's build. Now you can make this crop farm as big as you want, so you'll want to start by placing down however big you want your crop farm to be. I'll start by placing a 9x9 area filled up with grass with one block in the middle for the water, since the water can hydrate farmland in a 9x9 block area. For a farm like this, I would recommend alternating crops, and that will actually make them grow faster. So if I just made this farm all one kind of plant, then it wouldn't grow as fast as what I'm doing here by alternating the different kinds. And if you want to do sugarcane with this, then you would actually have to put it on ground level, otherwise the harvesters will harvest the bottom row of sugarcane, which is not what we want. And if you want to plant sugarcane, this is the most efficient way to do it, since you get 4 sugarcane plants for every block of water that you have. And this farm will also work if you want to plant netherwort. And to harvest all these crops, we'll be using a contraption on a gantry carriage, which is a contraption that moves linearly on a gantry shaft. And for this farm, you'll want to have your gantry shafts all the way across where you're farming like this. And then on one end, you'll want to place one extra gantry shaft. This is going to be the end of your farm. And where the gantry carriage will start, you'll want to have 2 shafts back like this. So to start the contraption that will harvest all of the crops, you'll want to start by placing a gantry carriage here. Then you'll place 3 blocks like this. Then you'll want to extend this as far as your farm goes. It's important to note that if any of these blocks run into a full block, that this whole contraption will just stop. So just make sure you won't run into any full blocks. Next, you'll want to place mechanical harvesters on the front so they can harvest all of your crops. Then you'll want to place another block here with an item vault on top of it to store the crops that you get from this machine. And if you're making your farm really big, this item vault can only hold 20 separate stacks of items. So if you think you'll get more than that, you might just want to add more vaults. And if you wanted to, you could even harvest cocoa beans with this setup. But to do that, you'll need to place the logs in such a way that the harvesters will be able to harvest the cocoa beans, but the contraption will go around the jungle logs, since the cocoa beans have to be placed on jungle logs to grow. Now, a way you can do this is actually place one block back and place the harvester on it to harvest cocoa beans on this side. But if you wanted to harvest cocoa beans on this side as well, then you can go around the jungle log with your blocks like this and place a mechanical harvester here to harvest the cocoa beans. Now, once you have your contraption made, then you'll want to start gluing it together with super glue. And to do this, you can easily just right click on one block and then drag it to the next, and then right click again to confirm the selection. You can go as many blocks long as you need to. Now we'll want to place a sequenced gear shift on this end so we can tell the gantry carriage to go forward to the end of the farm and then return back. And to do that, right click on the sequence gear shift to open this menu. Then you'll want to set this instruction to turn to move piston / pulley / gantry. You'll want to do the same thing for the second one as well. Then for this first one, you'll want to set the speed and direction to double speed reversed. And you'll want to set the second one to double speed forwards. Then you'll want to scroll the distance to however long your gantry shaft is. Then click done. And now all the settings that you just saved in there will activate once it gets a redstone signal. Now, since this gantry carriage won't actually use any stress units, you can use any way to give it rotational speed you want. For this farm, I'll just be using a water wheel since that's really easy to do. Now you'll want to place a 3x3 block item vault And then you'll want to make the length of the item vault the amount of items you'll be getting from your farm. So for this one, I'll be getting 9 different items, so I'll make mine 9 blocks long. Now you'll actually want to move this item vault up another block and then super glue that. Then you'll place a brass funnel to output from this item vault into a chute that goes into this item vault. And you'll want to make sure not to super glue this funnel, otherwise whenever the gantry shaft is moving, then any items that are harvested will go into this vault and immediately be dropped out because the brass funnel is attached to the whole contraption. But once the gantry carriage stops, this brass funnel will automatically connect up to the item vault, and that'll drop all the items from it into this one. Next, you'll want to place 1 double chest for each different item that you have. And I have 9 different items that I'm going to be harvesting, so I'll use 9 double chests. Then you'll want to place chutes on top of each one like this, and brass funnels outputting into the chutes. Then you'll want to use each brass funnel as a separate filter for each different item that you're going to be harvesting. And now each of these double chests will be filtered to only have one type of item in them. Now to give this sequence gear shift power, we'll be using something called a pulse timer. Now whatever this interval is here, that's how long it'll take to give a redstone signal output. Now if you hold right click on this, you can set whatever interval you want. For this specific farm, I'll be setting it to 1 minute, but if your farm is longer than mine, you might want to have a longer interval so your items will have more time to output into the chests. Now you can place down your pulse timer here and set it to the correct interval. But as you can see, my sequence gear shift got powered, but it isn't actually going the correct direction. And an easy way to fix that is to just reverse the direction on both of these lines here from what it was before. And on a contraption, these mechanical harvesters will actually replant anything that they harvest, so you don't have to worry about replanting anything. Now as you can see, this whole contraption is moving forward and it's harvesting the crops. And if you give it a faster rotation speed in the gantry shaft, it'll make this whole contraption move faster. And as you can see, it's harvesting everything just fine. Then once it gets to the end here, it will stop, and then it should reverse its rotation and it'll start going backwards. And while this contraption is going backwards, the harvesters will actually not spin, so they won't harvest anything. Now you can see that it came back and is dropping off all the items into this vault. And as you can see in the top middle, each chest has some amount of each item in it. And that means that your system is working properly. This is the finished build. Don't forget to leave a comment down below what you would like to see me build next. And while you're down there, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.